What if I told you that success doesn't happen overnight, but through consistent, focused effort every single day? Imagine being in the top 1%, not just financially, but in every aspect of your life, your mindset, your relationships, your health, your skills. What if you could achieve this by doing just one thing every day? That thing is educating yourself. In today's world, the difference between the 1% and everyone else isn't luck or circumstance. It's the relentless pursuit of knowledge. But not just any knowledge. I'm talking about real knowledge, the kind that transforms your life. And guess what? You're already here, taking the first step. Welcome to Stoic Mastery, the channel where we equip you with the mindset and strategies to not just survive, but thrive in this chaotic world. If you're serious about unlocking your potential, about staying in the top 1%, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and join us on this journey of continuous growth. Now, let's dive into today's powerful topic: how to educate yourself every day and stay in the top 99%. Section 1. The power of knowledge. Why you must educate yourself every day. In a world that is constantly changing, there is one thing that remains the ultimate differentiator between success and mediocrity: knowledge. The top 1% aren't just lucky. They are individuals who understand the undeniable power that comes from consistently educating themselves. Every day they sharpen their minds, refine their skills, and stay ahead of the competition. And the best part? You can do the same. The world's most successful individuals, whether in business, sports, or any other field, are constantly learning. They don't stop when they graduate or when they reach a certain level of success. They know that knowledge is the most reliable weapon they can wield. You see, in today's world, it's not just about working hard, it's about working smart. If you educate yourself every day, you position yourself to make better decisions, understand the world more clearly, and outpace those who are content with staying stagnant. But this isn't just a matter of reading books or watching videos. It's about creating a mindset of constant improvement, where learning becomes an essential part of your daily routine. The Stoics believed that wisdom was one of the highest virtues. Marcus Aurelius, for example, wrote in his Meditations that he would rise every day with the goal of learning something new, improving his character, and reflecting on his own thoughts and actions. This mindset of perpetual learning is what kept him ahead of his time. If you want to be at the top, you must commit to becoming a lifelong student of the world. The difference between the 1% and the rest isn't just the actions they take, but the decisions they make. Decisions grounded in knowledge. When you arm yourself with wisdom, you gain the ability to make informed choices, see opportunities where others see obstacles, and solve problems with confidence. It's this ability that allows you to consistently rise above the rest, leaving others behind. The top 1% understand this deeply. Their edge comes from the fact that they never stop learning. They don't rely on their past knowledge. They keep pushing forward, always seeking to expand their understanding. Dark psychology teaches us that the more knowledge you possess, the more control you have. This control is subtle but profound. When you know more than those around you, you are positioned to influence, persuade, and guide conversations in your favor. This doesn't mean manipulating people. It means leading with insight. By learning something new every day, you constantly add to your arsenal of knowledge, making yourself more influential and more difficult to challenge. Daily education doesn't have to be time-consuming. It can be as simple as reading for 30 minutes every morning, listening to a podcast on the way to work, or reflecting on what you learned from the day. The key is consistency. Just like physical exercise, your brain requires constant stimulation and challenge to grow. And the more you exercise your brain with knowledge, the sharper you become. This daily effort compounds over time, building you into someone who stands in the top 1%. If you're ready to commit to educating yourself every day, drop "I'm leveling up" in the comments below. Let's make a commitment together to never stop growing and learning. You have the potential to reach the top 1%, and it all starts with daily education. Section 2. The Stoic Mindset. Pursue wisdom relentlessly. The Stoics understood something crucial. True mastery comes from the relentless pursuit of wisdom. This is the very foundation of success, and it is why the most accomplished individuals, whether in ancient Greece or today, continue to seek knowledge every day. If you want to stay in the top 1%, you must adopt the Stoic mindset of continuous learning and improvement. This mindset is a game changer, and it's the secret to mastering every aspect of your life. The Stoics believed that wisdom was the highest of virtues. Seneca, one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers, often wrote about how learning and understanding the world were integral to personal growth. He emphasized the importance of self-examination, constantly reflecting on your thoughts and actions to ensure you are improving. Wisdom, in the Stoic sense, isn't just about knowing facts. It's about developing an understanding of how life works, how people behave, and how to control your own responses to external events. If you want to rise to the top 1%, this mindset is absolutely essential. By dedicating yourself to daily education, you develop the clarity and insight needed to navigate life's challenges. You learn to see things as they are, not as you wish them to be, and this allows you to make decisions that are grounded in reality, not in emotion or impulsivity. The Stoics taught that we should cultivate wisdom through study, reflection, and experience. You become the master of your mind by seeking truth in all situations, and in doing so, you position yourself to lead, influence, and thrive. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic giant, embodied this relentless pursuit of wisdom. As a Roman emperor, he didn't just focus on ruling the empire, he focused on improving himself every day. His writings, particularly in Meditations, show how deeply he valued the continuous process of learning and self-improvement. Even in his role of immense power, he constantly sought wisdom to remain grounded and make the best decisions for his people. Self-education wasn't optional for him. It was an integral part of his character. When you embrace this mindset, you realize that learning is a lifelong journey. In the modern world, success is often linked to adaptability, the ability to learn new skills, pivot when necessary, and stay ahead of the curve. This adaptability comes from daily education. The more you learn, the more capable you become of tackling new challenges and seizing new opportunities. Now, here's the critical part. This Stoic mindset isn't just about being well-read or intellectually sharp. It's about developing emotional intelligence. Stoic wisdom teaches you to control your emotions, rise above external chaos, and act with purpose. When you educate yourself daily, you also become more self-aware. You recognize your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors, and you learn how to respond, not react. This emotional control makes you less likely to be manipulated or swayed by others, giving you an edge in both personal and professional interactions. By constantly pursuing wisdom, you place yourself in a position of power. You become impenetrable to the whims of others because you are guided by your own principles, knowledge, and understanding. The Stoics understood that wisdom leads to freedom, the freedom to act based on reason, not impulse or external pressure. If you're ready to take on the Stoic mindset and dedicate yourself to daily learning, hit that like button and drop "I am a student of life" in the comments below. The road to wisdom begins with one step. Make it today. Section 3. The daily routine of the 1%. Making education a habit. One of the most powerful habits of successful individuals is their commitment to daily education. It's not enough to passively acquire knowledge. The most successful people in the world make learning an active, daily practice. They don't wait for inspiration to strike. They take control of their own education every single day. If you want to stay in the top 1%, this routine isn't optional. It's a necessity. The key to success isn't just about knowledge. It's about making learning part of your daily life. The top 1% know that success is built on the little things, the small, consistent actions that add up over time. This is where having a well-structured routine comes into play. A successful daily routine doesn't require drastic change. It requires discipline. The most successful people prioritize learning, dedicating specific time every day to educate themselves, whether it's through reading, listening to podcasts, or engaging in thoughtful reflection. The Stoic approach to daily practice can help you understand why this routine is so important. The Stoics believed in living with intention and focusing on what's within our control. Marcus Aurelius, in particular, wrote in his Meditations that he would start his day by mentally preparing himself for the challenges ahead, reflecting on how he could approach each situation with wisdom, self-control, and virtue. The Stoics didn't wait for life to happen to them. They actively prepared themselves for each day by focusing on self-improvement. This same philosophy applies to learning. When you start your day with the intention to learn, you are preparing yourself for success. Your day becomes structured around personal growth. Instead of relying on luck or external circumstances, you rely on yourself, on the knowledge and wisdom you've acquired through consistent effort. The top 1% have mastered this principle. They don't rely on sporadic bursts of effort or fleeting motivation. They make learning part of their daily habits. In practical terms, this means setting aside specific time every day for education. The key is to make it a non-negotiable habit. Successful people don't let distractions or excuses get in the way of their learning time. Whether it's reading for 30 minutes each morning, listening to an educational podcast during a commute, or reflecting on personal goals and growth at the end of the day, the goal is simple. Educate yourself consistently. The Stoics were masters of self-discipline, and this is exactly what you need to cultivate if you want to be in the top 1%. Discipline isn't about forcing yourself to do something you hate. It's about creating a routine that aligns with your values and goals. If you value wisdom, knowledge, and continuous improvement, your daily routine should reflect that. Education becomes a natural part of your life, something you don't think twice about. The power of consistency cannot be overstated. As you continue this practice, you'll find that the knowledge you've gained builds on itself, creating a compounding effect. Each day, you get a little better. Each day, you improve. And over time, these small improvements add up to massive success. The top 1% understand that their success isn't a result of one big break. It's the result of small, daily efforts that add up over time. If you're ready to create your own daily education routine, drop "I am disciplined" in the comments below. Let's commit to building our minds one day at a time. Section 4. The Power of Books. Unlocking Ancient Wisdom for Modern Success. Books are timeless gateways to knowledge. They are the tools that successful people use to gain insight, wisdom, and strategies to thrive in life. The most powerful minds throughout history, including the Stoics, understood that books contain a vast treasure trove of knowledge that can transform your life. If you want to stay in the top 1%, incorporating books into your daily routine is non-negotiable. The power of reading lies not only in the information it imparts, but also in how it shapes your mindset. When you read books that challenge your thinking, expand your understanding, and offer new perspectives, you actively reprogram your mind for success. Reading fosters critical thinking, deepens your self-awareness, and accelerates your personal growth. It's an essential practice for anyone who wants to excel in the modern world where constant adaptation is key. Stoicism, which emphasizes self-control, wisdom, and resilience, provides a perfect example of how powerful books can be. The Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus were all avid readers. Their writings were influenced by their constant engagement with the works of great thinkers, and in turn, they left a legacy of wisdom that continues to guide millions today. For the Stoics, reading wasn't just an activity, it was a way of life. It was how they grew, strengthened their resolve, and built the mental fortitude necessary to handle life's challenges. Books allow you to learn from the greatest minds in history without having to live in their time. With the written word, you gain access to centuries of collective human experience and wisdom. Imagine standing in the presence of some of the greatest leaders, thinkers, and philosophers throughout history. Now you can. The Stoics understood that the lessons contained within books were an essential part of their daily practice. It was through their constant study of literature that they cultivated the wisdom to lead, think clearly, and master their emotions. In today's world, where distractions are rampant and our attention spans are often fleeting, books offer something valuable and unique: the ability to focus deeply and think critically. Unlike other forms of media that deliver instant gratification, books require sustained attention. They challenge you to engage with new ideas and perspectives in a way that encourages deep reflection and thought. This level of engagement is what sets apart the top 1% from everyone else. They prioritize focused, in-depth learning through books over superficial, fleeting information. The best part? You don't need to be a scholar to benefit from reading. You simply need to commit to reading consistently, even if it's just 30 minutes a day. Start with books that align with your goals, your challenges, or areas where you want to grow. The key is to make reading a habit, something you incorporate into your daily life. Whether it's philosophy, psychology, history, or business strategy, the knowledge you gain from books will accelerate your success. Dark psychology tells us that people who are well-read and knowledgeable are less likely to be manipulated. By understanding human behavior, historical patterns, and psychological principles, you gain an edge in every interaction. When you immerse yourself in books, you arm yourself with the tools necessary to influence, persuade, and lead. You'll be seen as a thought leader, someone who's wise and insightful and who others want to follow. So if you're ready to start unlocking the power of books, drop the phrase "books are power" in the comments below. Commit to daily reading and start building your knowledge empire today. Section 5. Understanding yourself. The foundation of mastery. To truly succeed in life, it's not enough to simply acquire knowledge from external sources. The most important knowledge you can gain is self-knowledge. Understanding yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, triggers, desires, and emotions is the foundation of mastery. Without this understanding, all the books you read and strategies you learn will be of little value. To stay in the top 1%, you must dedicate yourself to the deep, often difficult work of understanding who you are at your core. The Stoics emphasize self-reflection as a daily practice. For them, it wasn't enough to learn from external wisdom alone. They believed that you had to constantly examine and challenge your own beliefs, thoughts, and behaviors. This process, known as self-examination, was central to Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius regularly reflected on his own actions and thoughts, asking himself if he was living in alignment with his values. This practice of daily self-examination helped him stay grounded and aware, no matter how powerful or busy his life became. Understanding yourself is critical because, without this knowledge, you will be at the mercy of external circumstances and influences. If you don't understand your own emotions, desires, and patterns of behavior, you will constantly react to the world around you rather than act with purpose. Self-awareness allows you to take control of your thoughts and actions, empowering you to make decisions that align with your true goals and values. Self-awareness is the first step toward true emotional mastery. It allows you to understand why you feel a certain way in different situations and gives you the power to choose your response. Emotions like fear, anger, and jealousy can easily cloud our judgment if we don't take the time to reflect on them. But when you understand the root cause of your emotions, you gain the ability to control them rather than let them control you. This is where emotional intelligence comes into play. Being able to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions in any given situation is a critical skill for success. The key to self-mastery is objectivity. When you reflect on your own thoughts and behaviors, you must do so without judgment or defensiveness. It's easy to fall into the trap of self-pity or denial, but true self-awareness requires a clear-eyed assessment of your actions. The Stoics were masters of this. They didn't shy away from their flaws. They confronted them head-on, understanding that the only way to improve was to first acknowledge where they were falling short. Self-awareness also plays a crucial role in building resilience. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and obstacles. If you don't know yourself, these challenges will throw you off course. But when you understand your triggers and your strengths, you become better equipped to navigate adversity with clarity and confidence. You are less likely to be blindsided by external events and more likely to take proactive steps toward finding solutions. This resilience is a key component of success, especially for those in the top 1% who are able to maintain focus and momentum no matter what life throws their way. As you commit to daily self-reflection and self-awareness, you build a strong internal foundation for success. Personal growth is not just about acquiring new knowledge or skills. It's about continuously improving yourself and understanding your true nature. The more you understand yourself, the more power you have to shape your own destiny. If you're ready to dive deeper into the process of self-discovery, drop "I know myself" in the comments below. Let's continue this journey of self-mastery together, because understanding yourself is the first step toward achieving true greatness. Section 6. The Dark Side of Knowledge. Using education to your advantage. In the pursuit of knowledge, it's crucial to understand that knowledge itself is power, but how you apply that knowledge can be the defining factor in achieving success. While most people focus on acquiring knowledge for personal growth, those who operate in the top 1% understand that knowledge is not just for self-improvement, it's a tool for influence, persuasion, and control. This is where the darker aspects of education come into play, and learning how to use knowledge to your advantage can transform your social and professional outcomes. The Stoics valued wisdom because it gave them the ability to master their emotions, actions, and reactions. But they also knew that wisdom could be used strategically in interactions with others. Marcus Aurelius, for example, was known for his ability to handle complex social and political situations with poise, using his understanding of human behavior to make decisions that were not only good for him, but also beneficial to the empire. This ability to read the room, understand what drives people, and make informed decisions is something that can be achieved through daily education and self-reflection. Dark psychology teaches that knowledge is not just about improving oneself. It's about understanding the psychological triggers that influence human behavior. People with knowledge of human nature and the way people think and feel can subtly influence the actions and decisions of others, all without them even realizing it. This is not about manipulation or coercion. It's about understanding the principles of influence and using them to shape outcomes in your favor. The more you know about human psychology, the better equipped you are to navigate relationships, whether in personal or business environments, and steer them toward favorable outcomes. The top 1% understand that knowledge, when used strategically, can give them a significant edge in any social or professional situation. For example, understanding body language, tone of voice, and the subtle cues that people give off can help you gauge emotions and anticipate reactions. By being able to predict and influence others' behavior, you can avoid conflict, build stronger relationships, and position yourself as a leader who understands what others need and want. Stoicism encourages us to remain detached from external outcomes. However, this emotional detachment does not mean passivity. On the contrary, it means that when you observe others and understand their desires, fears, and motivations, you can act with intention and strategy, not based on emotional reactions, but on rational choices. When you approach interactions with this strategic mindset, you gain the ability to lead and influence without appearing forceful or manipulative. The key is to make people feel heard and understood, as they will naturally follow those who can guide them without intimidation. While others are reacting to situations based on impulse or emotions, the top 1% know that knowledge gives them control. The ability to influence people and steer conversations without appearing to manipulate is a powerful skill, and it comes from deep education. The more you learn, the more you understand how people think, what motivates them, and what makes them tick. This gives you the ability to lead with subtlety, not force, and become a person others seek out for guidance and support. If you're ready to harness the power of knowledge to influence and lead with purpose, hit the like button and drop "I lead with wisdom" in the comments below. Let's take control of our future by using our education to our advantage and mastering the art of influence. Done. Section 7. How to keep learning. The 99% mindset versus the 1% mindset. The key difference between the 99% and the top 1% is their approach to learning. While the majority of people stop learning after formal education, the top 1% view education as a lifelong journey. They understand that success is not a destination, but a continuous process of growth and self-improvement. If you want to stay in the top 1%, you must cultivate a mindset that is dedicated to lifelong learning, always seeking knowledge and skills to improve every aspect of your life. The 99% tend to be content with the knowledge they have acquired through school, their job, or life experience. They stop investing in their education once they've reached a certain level of success or comfort. In contrast, the 1% are never satisfied with what they know. They understand that stagnation leads to decline, and they are relentless in their pursuit of knowledge. They realize that in a world that is constantly changing, the only way to maintain success and relevance is to keep learning and adapting. The Stoics embodied this mindset perfectly. Seneca, for example, wrote extensively about how learning should be a lifelong endeavor, and that one should never be content with what they already know. The Stoics believed that we should always strive to improve ourselves and our understanding of the world, because the pursuit of wisdom is the path to true freedom and happiness. Marcus Aurelius, despite being the most powerful man in the Roman Empire, still spent time each day learning and reflecting on his thoughts. He didn't see education as something to check off a list. He saw it as an ongoing process of self-discovery. If you want to embody the mindset of the top 1%, you must shift your perspective on learning. Instead of seeing it as something that happens in school or at specific points in your life, you must start viewing it as an integral part of your daily routine. The most successful individuals are those who never stop learning, whether it's through reading, networking with mentors, learning from experiences, or seeking out new challenges. They continuously develop new skills and gain new perspectives, which allows them to stay ahead of the curve. One of the key aspects of the 1% mindset is curiosity. The 1% are constantly asking questions, seeking answers, and finding ways to improve. They don't let themselves become complacent. Whether it's learning a new language, mastering a new technology, or diving into an entirely new field, they always look for ways to expand their knowledge. This curiosity drives them forward, pushing them to take risks, explore new opportunities, and grow in ways that most people would never consider. The 1% also recognize that knowledge is cumulative. The more you learn, the more you can apply that knowledge to different areas of your life. The learning you do today creates a foundation for tomorrow's success. This principle is why continuous education is so powerful. It builds upon itself over time. Every book you read, every skill you acquire, and every new idea you explore compounds and accelerates your success. To adopt the 1% mindset, you need to start creating habits that prioritize learning. Set aside time each day for reading, reflection, or gaining new skills. Make learning a core part of your routine and consistently challenge yourself to grow. This dedication to continuous improvement is the foundation for becoming someone who can thrive in any environment, no matter how competitive it may be. If you're ready to adopt the mindset of the top 1%, drop "I never stop learning" in the comments below. Commit to a lifetime of growth and success by making learning an everyday habit. Section 8. Conclusion. Commit to daily education and stay in the top 1%. By now, you've learned that the key to staying in the top 1% is education, but not just any education, daily education. The most successful individuals don't stop learning when they finish school or reach a certain level of success. They continue their education every single day, and this commitment is what sets them apart. If you want to reach your fullest potential and stay in the top 1%, you need to adopt a mindset of continuous learning and make it a habit in your life. The journey to mastery is not about instant results. It's about consistent, focused effort over time. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of small daily actions that compound into something extraordinary. Whether you're reading, reflecting, learning new skills, or engaging in deep self-awareness, each day of education adds to your growth and moves you closer to your goals. This is the path the top 1% walk. They don't rely on sporadic bursts of effort. They rely on their daily habits. The Stoic philosophers understood this. They didn't wait for a moment of inspiration to strike. They dedicated themselves to learning and self-reflection every day. Marcus Aurelius, despite his immense power as emperor, understood that wisdom and self-control were vital to his success. He didn't just rely on his position or his past knowledge. He continued to seek improvement and growth in his thoughts and actions. By embracing a daily routine of education, you too can harness this mindset, allowing you to consistently improve and gain an edge over others. When you commit to educating yourself every day, you unlock the power of wisdom and resilience. Education is not just about gaining information. It's about developing critical thinking, increasing your self-awareness, and honing your ability to navigate the complexities of life. The more you learn, the better you become at handling challenges, making informed decisions, and influencing others with ease. The top 1% know that knowledge is their greatest asset, and they invest in it daily to build the life they want. But it's not just about reading or acquiring facts. The most powerful form of education is self-education, learning from your experiences, your failures, and your successes. Each day presents new opportunities for growth, and when you embrace those opportunities, you become more adaptable and resilient. The top 1% don't shy away from challenges. They embrace them as opportunities to learn, grow, and ultimately thrive. As you continue on your journey, keep in mind that staying in the top 1% is about never being satisfied with your current level of knowledge. Complacency is the enemy of progress. If you stop learning, you stop growing, and the world will leave you behind. The most successful individuals understand this deeply. They know that their success is built on a foundation of continuous education and personal development. So, if you're committed to staying at the top, commit to daily education. Make it a priority in your life. Set aside time each day to read, reflect, and learn new things. Challenge yourself to grow constantly, and in doing so, you'll be well on your way to remaining in the top 1%. If you're ready to commit to lifelong learning and stay at the top, like this video, subscribe to Stoic Mastery, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Drop the phrase, "I never stop learning," in the comments below, and let's continue this journey together. The path to greatness is built one day at a time, and your journey starts now.